Hello, cherished subscribers and viewers on Kukuza Africa. It's great having you back with us again to do a part 2 of the very incisive time with Alhaji Sulemana Abdul Karim, the Executive Director of BIDO Ghana. And the first part of this discussion actually is a great eye-opener to the needs, the developmental needs of sub-Saharan Africa in general and the northern region of Ghana in particular. The northern region of Ghana, incidentally, the capital is Tamale, a very beautiful place. You know, it's a place where you can really go take a good holiday, and I can assure you, you will really get the best of it. So, Alhaji Sulemana, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you back today.
Thank you very much.
Like I said to our viewers, it was wonderful, discussing with you the first time.
Thank you very much.
And like I said to you that day, there's no way we'll not call you back to do, a second part of what we started, the other day. And you spoke very directly to the issues of the attainment of the SDG goals, incidentally, SDG Goal 2, Goal 4, and Goal 6. And we looked at the health sector, we looked at the food security sector, and we looked at the water and sanitation sector. You talked about, what you're doing, as what your organization is doing, to ameliorate the situation on the ground, and you came out, strong on the issue of advocacy, as your principal drive and method of deployment. And added to that, of course, is the actual provision of implements and the building of infrastructure, when you are funded to be able to do that. You also spoke about your constraints. You talked about, funding, you talked about the need for materials, you talked about the need for machines, especially in the food security. Yes. And that actually gave me, food for thought, and I think that our viewers also, appreciate, very closely now what, the situation is like on the ground. Now, how have you, as an organization, partnered effectively with other stakeholders, in the northern region of Ghana? And when I'm at this point, I'm referring to the metropolitan, municipal, district authorities, assemblies, other national and international NGOs, the community-based organizations in the northern region, the traditional authorities, opinion leaders, and then, of course, the vulnerable, segments of, people whom you are actually, directing your efforts at. How have you been able to effectively partner with these people? Because they are essential, yes, to the success of what you're doing.
Our primary target is women, children, and people living with disabilities. Now, we cannot work with this directly unless through metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies in the region, as well as other decentralized agencies such as Ghana Health Service, Ghana Education Service, and then Ghana Agriculture Sector, Ministry of Agric. So what we do is, we do not go straight to the needy community to do whatever you want to do. We will always ensure that all the stakeholders are part and parcel of our implementation projects. So before entering a community or even implementing a project, we make sure that we have meetings with the relevant stakeholders. Let them understand our goals and objectives, as well as the strategies that we intend to use to implement the project. And then also seek their support for whatever we were doing in the district and the community as a whole. So, in the first place, they are the hosts. They know the communities better. So it is their responsibility for them to identify the poorest of the poor, and the needy communities. And on our first community entry, the staff of the relevant stakeholder or ministry or whatever would go with us to the community and introduce our staff, our field staff, to the community.
Wonderful.
And during implementation, we ensure that they are part of it. They help us in community engagement activities.
Yeah.
And anytime we plan or we are organizing a workshop, they are part of it, and sometimes help us, resource persons. You understand me? So these are the things. They do their monitoring, independent monitoring of our activities.
Okay.
And when we are also planning our monitoring, we try to make it a joint one so that we go with them to the communities for them to have first-hand information about the progress of work in the communities.
Okay. Do they at any point, because you just mentioned now that they monitor
Yes.
your activities, is that statutory? Is that required by government, or is it required by your donors? Is that a requirement that they should monitor?
We have made it mandatory.
Okay.
On ourselves.
Good.
That it's always good that you have independent monitor.
Good.
So that whatever resource that you claim you have achieved can be confirmed by an independent one. So we make provision for them to actually monitor, even though it's mandatory for them to do it.
Yeah.
Yet you, the implementer, if you don't encourage it,
Okay.
they will not do it.
Okay.
So, and especially the joint monitoring, if you don't make provision for it, for them to be in our vehicle and also have some field allowances, they will not be interested in
So
doing
in other words, you've placed a check on yourselves,
That's
so
right.
to say,
Yes.
to increase your credibility profile.
That's right.
Which is really wonderful.
That's right.
And I observe, I was reading through your website recently, and I observed that you have provided high quality professional services to a wide range of clients, and these include UNICEF, USAID, UNDP, SNV, Netherlands Development Corporation, Water Aid Ghana, World Vision, the World Bank, Environmental Protection Agency, International Labour Organization, and so many of them. I mean, have you managed to maintain such good relationship and provide services to these mastheads of development in the world?
In our work, we try to establish good rapport, establish trust with our target groups at the community level and at the district level.
Great.
So they are always ready to vouch for us.
Good.
So anytime we are looking for funding or donors, that's our first point of call for them to assist us in even designing the project and also giving us recommendations to whichever donor agency that we are sending to. And once you have that recommendation coming from the district assembly, it shows that your district presence is very strong, as well as the community. So donors are always happy to see these recommendations, and they want to partner with us. Usually, a donor will want to come and do due diligence. Okay. And anytime they come to BIDO Ghana, they feel that, yes, we are a low-risk organization in the sense that when they take us on board, we will give them a resource. We have all documentation. Our documentations are adequate, and our district presence, as I mentioned earlier, is there. They go to their district, and then it is confirmed that we are there. So they are always happy to work with us. And once we are also on board, we justify our inclusion by doing the work to the best of our abilities, with all total commitment and also creativity and innovation in our activities, makes especially international organizations to want to work with us. Yes.
Yeah. That is really very exciting and great to know, because from what you've said, obviously, with the local authorities, your stakeholders in Tamale, and then the international and local donor communities, you are in such good rapport, such good working relationship. So that, in effect, has positioned BIDO Ghana,
That's right.
As an effective partner,
That's right.
carry out, your stated objectives in the northern region of Ghana.
Yes.
I mean, that
Exactly.
is really great to know. But now, let me find out from you, what is your strategic approach? Or rather, what is the strategic approach of BIDO to enable it to attain its aims and objectives? I assume you have a current strategy plan,
Yes.
and maybe that should be for the next couple of 5 years or thereabout.
Yes.
So what is the strategic approach of BIDO
Yes.
to enable the organization attain its aims and objectives?
So I want to start to indicate our strategic objectives before we look at the strategies that we put in place to achieve them. So the first one is to increase access to safe drinking water and improved hygiene for 900,000 women and children and their families in 10 deprived districts of northern region by 2025. And then the second one is to improve access to health and nutrition services for almost also 900,000 women and their children. Yes, in 10 deprived districts of northern region by 2025. And finally, to improve inclusive education and quality, basic education for all children, especially girl child and also children with disabilities in 10 districts of the of northern region by 2025.
Great.
So these are the objectives that we have set for ourselves, and we use advocacy and influencing as the number one strategy, where political authorities, local authorities, and also at the community level, heads of households, fathers and mothers are engaged in meetings for them to understand the need to provide services, quality services for women and children. So this is done through meetings, drama, radio discussions, and so on and so forth. Then the second one is the behavior change communication activities, where we do a lot of promotion.
Okay.
Yes.
The first is advocacy.
Advocacy.
The second is communication change.
Communication change,
Okay.
social and behavior change communication, activities, where we do promotion on the need to send the girl child to school, the need to undergo routine immunization, the need for to do regular hand washing, especially at critical points. All that will go a long way to improve one's life. So behavior change communication is also one, and we do this through drama and debates in communities.
Okay. You actually either attend or you hold the debates.
We organize it and ensure that we are assisted by the local people, community-based drama
to put it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they also have capacity building and training for stakeholders at the community and district level.
Okay.
So the relevant community institutions and groups, and then district level committees and teams. For instance, we have what we call district health management teams.
Okay.
We have district water and sanitation teams, and all of those are part and parcel of our activities, and they have to be capacitated for them to be able to support us to achieve our goals. And then finally, service provision.
Service provision.
Yes, this is where we give direct service in terms of water and sanitation. It is drilling of boreholes, construction of household toilet, construction of institutional latrines. And in terms of education, construction of child-friendly infrastructure.
Okay.
Very, very important for us, especially when it comes to sanitation facilities in the community. We try to make sure that if there's a toilet that is being constructed, it is gender sensitive.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize on this. Why? Because we've realized that schools that have no adequate sanitation, especially toilets, leads to low retention of girls.
Okay.
and low attendance.
Yeah.
There are situations where girls, when they are in their menstrual period, would not want to go to school.
Yeah.
They prefer to be home. And
Because they don't have
they
privacy.
don't have privacy. You see. So we support in that direction.
And this is a very crucial area
Very, very crucial.
to consider, especially for the girl child.
Yes. So then when we come to our food and nutrition aspect, we're talking about equipment
Yeah.
for our women groups, for them to engage in their small farming activities,
Yeah.
support them in that direction. So that's the service provision aspect of it. So these are the should I say, 4 main strategies that we employ to achieve our objectives.
I mean that's a very strong approach. Your advocacy, which is your first approach, your communication for behavior change, which is your second, capacity building for stakeholders, your fourth, and provision of services, which is the fourth one rather. Okay. Right. Going over your work, let's say between the last 5 to 10 years, what will you consider to be your major achievements?
We always boast of our ability to partner effectively with 5 major international NGOs, such as WaterAid. WaterAid from 2012 to 2017, a very long-term project. I worked with them. They were so happy, and their donors, HSBC Malta. Each time they came to monitor the program, which was nationwide, they preferred to come to Tamale, where we are based, and visit our communities. Yes, this can be is testified. We have a lot of pictures and videos on that. Apart from WaterAid, UNICEF, we've been working with UNICEF too for the past 5 years. They are satisfied with our work. Currently, they are the ones that are funding our activities, the only organization. Whoever mentions BIDO Ghana to any of these organizations, you hear.
Yeah, I mean, that is good to know, Alhaji Sulemana. It's good to know you've worked with this big organization. But, in referring to your achievements, we really want to know in, either specific or estimated numbers, the numbers, which you have affected positively, through your programs.
That's right.
I mean, could you just give us, some...
There are a lot, but to mention a few, in terms of women increasing their income levels, we have supported in the establishment of 121 women, savings groups.
Okay.
And they are doing very well. This is assisting them to increase their income levels, and they are doing their businesses with, little support from outsiders. We have also supported 35 communities to achieve open defecation free status. That is also dear to our 35 to achieve, and that's not an easy work.
So more or less, open defecation has been eradicated
completely
in 35
communities in the northern region. Yes. And then we have also supported in the construction of latrines in 25 schools, 4 schools.
Okay.
Yes. Then we can also talk about our ability to support 96 communities to have access to health facilities, such as cheap compounds. Yes. Then we are also proud to mention that we won an innovation award from WaterAid Ghana through a strategy that we developed locally. We call it E for Wash, Entertainment for Wash, where through that we've been able to get many communities to change their behaviors, practicing appropriate nutrition and hygiene practices.
That's great. Alhaji, we need to go on a break.
Yes.
And as soon as we come back, we'll tackle ask you some more questions, about your organization and how well you've, met your stated objectives.
Thank you very much.
So we go for it. Hello viewers, you're welcome back from the break. Before we went on break, Alhaji Sulemana informed us that some of their major achievements in the past 5 years include the establishment of 121 savings women's groups where they've been able to come together, to assist each other, to raise assistance for one another. Then they've also eradicated open defecation in 35 communities in the northern region of Ghana. They've also been able to positively influence the establishment of 96 health facilities and also the provision of services also in 25 schools. He spoke about something which is quite crucial for the girl child. The girl child education talked about establishing toilet facilities that are gender sensitive, because from their experience in the northern region, if this is not the case or the situation, most of the girls, when they are in their monthly circle, as it were, they keep away from school because they don't have privacy to use the washrooms. So that is great to know. Mr. Alhaji Sulemana, what will you consider as the most crucial challenges that BIDO has faced in its operations currently?
Currently, the most crucial one is our lack of long-funded projects.
You mean long-term funding?
Long-term funding.
Okay.
In the sense that this is what is, if you have to do projects, short projects, 3 months, 6 months, you are not able to influence a lot. And it's difficult to achieve your goals and objectives. But when you have a long-term 5-year project, you are able to do a lot. So apart from Water Aid Ghana, that engages for 5 years without any break, the rest have been short-term, maximum of 5 years. So we're looking seriously for funders or donors that will give us long-term funding. So that's one. 2 is that I mentioned it the other day that we have an arable land of over 100 acres, yet we don't have the resources to put it into good use. And our hope is to actually use it more or less as a social enterprise where our groups, our women groups will be engaged to do proper farming.
Yes.
They are trained also how to train and do, and whatever income that comes from it is for them and for their children.
Yeah.
So looking for equipment such as tractors, power tillers, and even mechanized boreholes on the land, so that we can even use it as even a training center where farming, people are trained on how to do proper agric and also take agric as business. So that's also another major challenge.
So we're looking at a situation where funding is an issue,
Yes.
Implements, materials which you need, to more or less assist the local groups, that is also a challenge. Okay, so how do you fund your activities other than this direct donor assistance? Assuming you didn't have any donor assistance, how would you fund your activities?
That is where the challenge is. But we try to work with the National Assembly to also, at least from time to time, support our operational expenses. And in some cases where communities are supported to do to benefit from a project, we ask them to also contribute. But the contribution meaning that some of the expenses that we would have incurred, they would do that. So that has been so like I mentioned earlier,
partner funding.
Partner funding. So that's what. But as I mentioned, as our major challenge, the arable land that we have acquired, thinking that once that is put into use, we'll be able to raise some funding from it to support our activities.
Now, let me ask you this. So aside from, partner funding, getting funding through the district assemblies or your donor community, do you have in place, measures by which BIDO Ghana, will raise funds or, try to do its own initiative in encouraging people to give to its cause? Do you have such internal, fundraising activities or drives for the organization?
Yeah, this is what we are planning, and we have added to our strategic plan for the next 5 years.
Okay.
That we will do intensive, should I say, vigorous fundraising activities such as gala nights.
Great.
And then so that we raise funding both internally and externally. We are planning to have a branch in UK, and that will be called BIDO Ghana UK, purposely for raising funds for our activities in northern region. So very soon, that will be on board, and we're looking forward to assistance from our, our friends in UK and beyond. So that's what we're looking at, and also we're also trying to organize our website where we have, what do you call it? We get people to know what we are doing and contact us directly for any support that they have for us. So that's what we're doing.
Okay. So basically, you just mentioned something about, you mentioned the issue of establishing a foreign office.
Yes.
So that essentially will be to seek for assistance and also for materials, to further translate your stated objectives into reality, so to say.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have openings for local and foreign volunteers?
For the past 5 years, this is what we've been, advocating, looking for volunteers. We have the opening, but we hardly get, especially international volunteers. But local, yes, graduates from universities in Ghana come to do, volunteer work with us. Some of them come for internship. So we have opening. But international, we have not yet had any international students or international people to come and do volunteers. And we are looking forward to having them. We have Tamale, as you mentioned, it's a good place, very serene. Whoever comes to Tamale will want to stay, in Tamale and not go anywhere. So we are looking forward to getting volunteers from the international community to come and do, volunteer work with us, and that will go a long way to support and achieving our goals and objectives.
Do you have a stated drive locally to get volunteers from within Ghana to come to work with you?
Yes, that's, like I mentioned, they are aware, for the past 5 years, they come to do short volunteer work with us, and that is what is helping us, in fact, to do our work in the communities, because these days it's difficult to have a good number of people to be full-time workers. So it's the volunteers that assist.
When you get foreign volunteers, will you be able to provide them with accommodation?
There's no problem with that at all.
Will it be safe?
Very, very, very safe. Tamale, should I say, is the most or safest, town in Ghana, and northern region as a whole. So they will be 100% sure. And I want to mention, put it on record, that most of the volunteers we are aware, that come from foreign countries, we always want to be in northern region.
Okay.
And we have interacted with most of them, but because of maybe the nature of our work and then our inability to have a long-term project, we have not been able to get any of them to do volunteer work with us. Yeah.
And if you had the opportunity to address, both the local and the international donor community at this point in time, what would you be saying?
They are welcome. We are there. Our contacts for the website is www.bidoghana.com. Whatever information that you have, pass it to it, it will get to us. Our email address is simply bihason@yahoo.com. In fact, Bihason is a local dialect, Dagbani word meaning quality of life, and that's how our name even came. It was Bihason Integrated Development Organization, that is BIDO for short. So you contact us through our email, and then our numbers are 00233 249 396 757 or 205 400 529. So that's how we can contact us. Yeah.
Great. Viewers, it's been wonderful speaking with Alhaji Sulemana Abdul Karim, the Executive Director of BIDO Ghana. I'm sure that you can observe the passion and the intense desire to help, and more or less change the narratives. Like we keep saying at Kukuza Africa, to change the African narratives in the northern region of Ghana. We believe that CBOs, that is community-based organizations, NGOs, non-governmental organizations, the non-profit sector, is a strong tool which, well applied, can change the narratives in sub-Saharan Africa. We do not need to continue to be an undernourished subcontinent. We do not need to continue to be a subcontinent that has half the female mother mortality, childbirth mortality, and the rest of it. We do not need to still remain the subcontinent that has limited access to education. We believe so much at Kukuza Africa that working with organizations like BIDO Ghana and other committed CBOs and NGOs and the non-profit sector, who are well-resourced, we believe that the African narratives will change to become positive narratives. It's been a very incisive and thought-provoking time, speaking with Alhaji Sulemana Abdul Karim. And I can tell you, with most of what he has said to me, I think by my next visit to the northern region, I will be going, with an agenda, more or less to assist in the process there. So you're all welcome on Kukuza Africa to send in your recommendations, visit our website, send in your papers. There are quite various sections there which you can contribute to. You can contribute academic papers, you can contribute position papers, you can contribute, information that we want to keep sharing in sub-Saharan Africa to enable our leaders, to enable our policymakers, formulate the proper policies and implement and manage them, progressively to the point where the African narratives will change and sub-Saharan Africa will become a destination for the rest of the world. So we thank you for being with us. And again, I say, Alhaji Sulemana Abdul Karim, we thank you so much for coming all the way from Tamale to be with us here on this second occasion. And we wish you well. And we hope that you get all the assistance and all the cooperation that you need to be able to carry out your stated objectives. Viewers, he's shared the details, he's shared the website address. Please go there and do the needful. Thank you, and please subscribe and share the videos as much as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alhaji.
It has been very, very wonderful. I appreciate the opportunity given us, and hope that we have also been able to showcase our organization to the international community, We are looking forward to hearing from as many people as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you.